I'd like to welcome everybody to the Bassin Magazine podcast. Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the Weekend Angler. Guys, we're really excited today. I have none other than Brad Yoel from Bassin Magazine, and our featured guest is Jimmy Green. Jimmy Green is a professional bass tournament angler from the great state of Oklahoma. You know, Brad's been introducing me to a lot of these people from Oklahoma. There are some solid anglers from there, like Chuck Justice, you know, the guy who catches more 10-pounders than I catch 3-pounders.
Big Bass Chuck.
Yeah, Big Bass Chuck, man. Wow. But now tonight we have Jimmy Green. Jimmy just finished up a tournament, a Bassmaster Open on Ross Barnett Reservoir in Mississippi. How you doing tonight, Jimmy?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear you.
How you doing tonight, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this Bassmaster Open you just finished up?
Well, that was actually my first Open experience. What an experience that was. The river system there was a little technical to break down. They had a lot of water in the river that's normally not there. It's actually a flood control for the Delta, and they keep it at one level year round. And they'd had a bunch of rain just before we got there, and they were sucking it down. You could literally float down the river at 12 miles an hour without touching the trolling motor.
Woo!
Wow.
And
Dang.
I did get into the backwaters and found some fish and was comfortable with what I'd found. And the first morning, they shut the dam down about 8:30, 8:45, I'm guessing. I was so far back in a slough that I really didn't catch it until I realized we're not catching fish like we had been. And so I went to a secondary pattern on the main river and realized there was no water flow. And it's amazing how far, or I should say, how much difference that made. The fish
Wow.
were little water and couldn't find them. And scrambled around, caught a few fish, and then switched it up the second day based on, dock talk. And that was a mistake. I made a mistake. I forgot
There
to
you
check
go.
the river flow, and they had fired the river back up, and I should have ran back up the river. I think I would have been fine. Had a much better finish, but it was a great experience, and look forward to the next one.
Well, Cajun Rob wants to know, he said, what's up, Jimmy Green?
Hey, buddy, how are you? Watch some thunderstorms roll through.
Okay, guys, now what we'd like to do here, Jimmy has some great things to give away. If you want a chance in this raffle, if you will, a random drawing, go ahead and make a comment, post a question in either Bassin Online on Facebook or on my YouTube channel. Why don't you show them some of the things you have to give away, Jimmy?
I've got some custom painted square bills.
Nice.
Hamilton with rock hard baits. I don't know how well you can see that. Got a regular square bill and then a thin bladed microchip.
A spin bladed microchip.
I won that. Man, congratulations. That's awesome. Yay.
It's in the mail, Brad.
Okay.
Got some buzz baits from Adrenaline Tackle. Got a
Adrenaline Tackle.
head.
2 winners.
I'm telling you. Got multiple colors. Got some of their jigs, flipping jigs.
Oh, there you go.
I actually posted some on Facebook. You can check them out.
You sure
And
did.
then I've got several bags of New Wave plastics to put in the mail to somebody.
Woo!
Made right here in outside.
And them flipping jigs. I like them flipping jigs. What size are those flipping jigs, Jimmy?
Nope.
What size are the flipping jigs?
Let's see. You got a half ounce, and a 3/8.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Bobby Walker. I see him on the computer.
There you go.
We got a comment on Facebook. Bobby Walker says, "What's up, Jimmy? Think he's a winner?"
Bobby Walker.
He's one of the ones that messaged me. How do I get on this thing?
Good deal. So he's watching. So he's
He's
live.
from
So
Punker
you're
City.
seeing it live there, Bobby. Good deal.
Thank you for commenting, Bobby Walker.
Yep. I'm getting a couple comments too that
I've
the
got,
live is
A
sideways.
little bit of
My feed is sideways. You have to turn your phone and watch it, because the way that we're set up, I can't turn my phone to watch it. It kicks me off the live if I turn my phone. So I'm sorry. Turn your phone and watch it on your end.
I am so
Okay,
sorry.
I have a comment too from Randy Hamilton. He says, Jimmy's the man. Hashtag rock hard baits.
Yes, sir. Those are the best crankbaits I believe I've thrown.
There you go, man. Man, come on, guys. Yeah.
You guys are freaking breaking up. We've got a little bit of an issue with the service or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes that happens.
All the viewers, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jimmy's not too far away.
Oh,
in
no.
Oklahoma. But we're having some major severe thunderstorms right now. So if we lose him and he comes back, we'll still be here. So
Boy, I sure do hope Jimmy comes back.
yeah, keep your questions coming, and we'll get him back on. We can't control the weather on something like this. It is really storming outside. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we'll get him back on.
And whatever you have just seems to show up in Baton Rouge about a week later, man. It's so I'm betting I'm not going to be able to go fishing again this weekend.
Oh,
I am too old to sit in the boat when it's pouring down rain on me.
yeah,
That's why I don't fish tournaments anymore. I don't want to have to pay to go and do that.
right.
Nowadays, I enjoy fishing. I love fishing. And, I guess that makes me perfect for the Bassin Magazine, since Bassin Magazine is the official magazine of the weekend angler.
That's right. So maybe you can't go fishing on the weekend, but you can still learn about it by reading Bassin and subscribing.
I really liked that Bassin Magazine when you had the 75 new lures.
Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on.
And guys, Bassin Magazine, if you've never seen Bassin Magazine before, it is jam-packed full of fishing information. And look at this, bass baits.
That's what's
Awesome
on the
new
new
lures.
right now. You can call and buy one, or you can go to Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, a ton of mom and pop bookstores, and get the 75 awesome new lures for 2022.
That is just and it's jam-packed. That's what really impressed me. It's jam-packed full of information. It doesn't have 6 pages of advertising and then 2 pages of article.
Right. Each issue has its own theme, and this bait issue, that there's a lot of baits in there. There's more than 75. I went back and counted it, and I told the people that put it together and said, hey, there's more than 75 in there, and they said, hey, that's where we started. So as they came in and the new baits are out, it's all about catching more fish, and that's the point of it. I'm trying to answer these questions on Facebook Messenger also. So Jimmy will be right back, he said. I think he has a big thunderstorm there as well.
He doesn't live very far away from you, does he?
No, probably about 30 minutes, probably.
Okay. Because I just got another one too. I just texted Jimmy. I said, you're getting lots of.
Yeah. Bobby Walker asked, what was the go-to color on the river to fish? That was at Ross Barnett. David Hudson commented he's all in on jigs. Bobby Walker said, yeah, I can see it now. I logged in. David Hudson asked again, what's your favorite go-to trailer on a football jig? We've got several people live watching, so Jimmy will come right back, people. I know. I apologize. We just can't control the weather, so. Derek Webster, I see his question over there. Jay, he said, what's 2 things he would change about prep for the tourney? I kind of followed Jimmy when he was down there on Ross Barnett, and I know what he was doing. And he was actually catching quite a bit of fish before the tournament in pre-fish, and he would find a couple and leave and go try a different pattern somewhere else. And as he did that, the tournament days came, and like he said, he was in the back of a slough and not really knowing that the water had shut off and all those fish moved, because current is key. When you're fishing just so many places that have current steady, and when they shut off the dam, they shut off that water, it really changes the fish feeding and the way that the fish react to different baits, different lures, and things like that. But there's Jimmy back, and he can tell you more.
Okay, Jimmy. Brad was just answering a question that somebody asked for you. We've actually gotten quite a few questions here, and he says, "What would Derek Webster?" Asked Jimmy, "What's the 2 things you would change about your prep for the tourney?"
I would have studied the history of the water flow and what it does to the fish there. That was, I thought I knew a little bit about river fishing, and the common theme is you think you're shallow enough, go shallower. I literally, the second fish I caught the first day of the tournament, which I'd caught several in practice, but not like this. I flip up beside a piece of, I don't even know what kind of grass it was, and I saw something beside it. And about that time, my line jumped, and I set the hook and brought it in. I realized it was the dorsal fin of that fish. It was literally in less than 6 inches of water.
Wow.
And when they shut that current flow up, those fish weren't that shallow.
Okay.
Not the areas I was at. So.
And then we have another question from Randy Hamilton. He says, "What's your strategy when pre-fishing?"
First, it's based on.
Sorry about that.
Season, whether in pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, summer patterns, which on that river, they don't go deep because it averages 11 or 12 foot deep.
Yeah.
I find some deeper holes, I don't know, close to a mile back in a couple of the creeks, and I thought those were going to be key, but the fish were up shallow. I couldn't catch them out there. I base it on the season and where the fish should be, and then the water temperature in the spring and fall both. And then, of course, the bait fish. There were certain areas of the river that there was a little bit of a shad spawn, but everything's covered in grass. It's not like back home. You can see them flopping around in the rocks. You would see them moving in the lily pads or the cane reeds or I don't know what the other grasses were. But that was an indication that they were fixing to have a shad spawn. It wasn't a big shad spawn, just a few isolated areas.
Wow, so the big shad spawn hasn't happened yet there, huh?
No, sir.
What was the water temp down there, with flow, without flow?
68 versus 63.
Big difference, yeah.
So had they spawned yet?
Yes, it was mostly post-spawn. There were still some fish moving up, but Lord have mercy, if you could find a place to catch a bedfish there, I don't know how to do it.
One of our questions on Facebook was from Dave Hudson. He said, "What kind of trailer do you like on a football jig? Do you use any trailers or anything?"
Yes, sir. Actually, Jeff here at New Wave Plastic makes my favorite. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but this is one of my favorite trailers. Kind of hard.
That's a nice little color right there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like
watermelon red. That's pretty common.
And that's a crawfish type thing?
Creature bait or crawfish?
Yes, creature bait or crawfish. Now, in the early spring, you remember the old Uncle Josh pork trailers? Zoom does make one of those old style in plastic, and I like that little. It's more subtle. It's not as floppy and moving, and I think that makes a difference early spring.
I love those Uncle Josh things, but those man, you put one of those things in your tackle box and everything. This is back in the 70s. Everything would rust.
Hey, good news. Good news. They are making pork rinds again. Uncle Josh is making them again.
But I'm sure
Do you
they
know
figured out that problem by now. I hope.
Yeah. Do what, Jimmy?
Do you know why they got shut down?
Why?
It was because of the pork product in it.
Yeah.
Was it PA or whoever that agency was? It was a food thing. It was crazy.
Yeah. FDA. Yeah,
So people ate them and got sick.
probably.
Yeah.
The California warning that said this product may contain lead. Now they have to also put not for human consumption. Do not eat.
Do not eat the pork rinds.
It's sad that is even.
They're probably going to shut down soft plastics too. You're not supposed to eat this stuff either.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to put that same warning on this podcast.
Yeah, do not eat the. Yes, please.
So, Jimmy, break down a little bit of your childhood, why you started going fishing, your breakdown of the weekend angler turning into, a pro angler fishing and Bassmasters.
Well, to start with, I don't consider myself a pro, so I just have big ambitions and a dream. Let's see, I was 7 or 6 years old, fishing a farm pond with Grandma and my dad, crappie fishing in Narcissa, Oklahoma.
There you go. Love those crappies, man. Love them.
Yes, sir. And I caught a 3.5 pound bass on a minnow. I have never stopped dreaming about those things since, and it just stuck with me. I got to start fishing mini boat tournaments when I was 12 with my stepdad.
There you go, man.
All Oklahoma with a 8-foot water scamp and fish tournaments all over, and I still have a picture of my first tournament bass. I got one of them great big old trucker billboard Bass Pro hats on, and it was a 2.2 or 2.3, something like that.
Hey, man.
Caught it on a Rebel square bill, baby bass.
Baby bass. I love that color back then.
Yeah,
absolutely, in May and June. And from there, I started fishing local stuff when I got a little older, and fished local clubs. And I love the competition, and even getting beat, it's okay. It just makes you want to do it more, in my opinion.
Jimmy, I think back then you and I were using baby bass in the same years back then. But I was using it up in southern Michigan, traveling there from Indiana, and catching bass probably the same size.
I still use them today. There's a time
Well,
and place
yeah.
for it. So.
Yeah. And they still work.
I went from fishing the local clubs to some little bit bigger trails. Just a weekend warrior, if you will, with a partner. And then I did fish a few red men back then.
There you go, the Red Man Tournament Trail.
Yeah, I still got one of the hats on my shelf at home.
Yep.
I did make regionals that year. I fished it. And then life happened. I got into college and, different things. Quit fishing for a while, and then I got back into it and was doing really well. I'd made regionals. I started fishing the BFLs. I didn't have a boat at the time. And I made regionals again, and then I bought a boat, and let's see here. Fished for 1 or 2 years, and then I opened a business, and I quit fishing for quite a while. Had kids and all that, got married.
Oh, yep,
and then
that happens.
decided to get back into it. And when I was a co-angler, bought me a boat. Actually bought 2 boats. Bought one and blew it up, and then bought another one and blew it up and bought another motor. So I'm
we had another guy come on here and tell us about that.
I didn't catch the last part of that.
He blew up boats.
Jay?
Yeah, we had another guy come on here and tell us about how he blew up a boat, and then, yeah. Anyways, Cajun Rob wants to know Cajun Rob would like to know what your favorite FX rod is.
The 7.4, medium heavy. It's just I love dragging a jig and flipping and throwing a big spinnerbait in deep water. And that rod does it. It'll even throw a Carolina rig real well. So
Bobby Walker
got plenty of backbone.
Bobby Walker said, "And look at you now. You're all grown up." He said, "And it seems to be
grown out, maybe."
grown out. He said, "It seems to be a pattern with blowing boats up."
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. It gets expensive.
Oh,
But,
no.
Kept going. I made the All-American in 2018, I believe it was. Went to the
There you go.
All-American, finished 32nd there. And
Now, did you take home a check for a 32nd at the All-American?
I don't remember what it was. It's $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah. Where was that?
The Potomac. That was different. Tidal water,
Ooh,
and then nasty
Yeah.
snakeheads. Scare me.
nasty snakeheads, man.
Yeah.
Just try to bite you.
But so fun.
Yeah.
Not if you're not fishing for them, though.
That's
You think you
second-
finally have your 10-pounder hooked and it's just a 6-pound snakehead. Yeah.
Oh, they're mean.
They're mean,
Awesome at first. They'll fool you.
Yeah.
but they will bite you.
Jay's can only get half of that.
A snakehead will bite you.
And I've been to on a chatter.
Dang.
But after making that, I was actually in an unfortunate boat wreck in the Toyota series. And,
Oh, no.
Got himped up for a little while. I can't hear him, Brad.
No, we're listening to you. It's the weather. It's the weather. You're good.
Oh, okay.
You were telling us about a boat wreck you were in.
I think. Yes, sir. We're in an unfortunate accident in the Toyota series, and after that, I decided it was time to buy the first one I blew up. Actually, this year, I still do, but just stepped out the opens. Daniel with Blackbeard Marine with Tim Reed with Skeeter were gracious enough to give me priority.
Well, guys, we can't do anything about this weather. This is
No.
frustrating to say the least. You know, I really want to hear what Jimmy's saying. And
Yeah.
you know, he was telling us about he tried to tell us about an accident he was in during the Toyota series
Why
a
not?
couple years ago.
I've made excuses. We're all at each other. Yeah.
Are you there, Jimmy?
Yeah, we lost you for a second, and now it's rotated on us.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. We can't hear you either. If you can hear us, we can't hear you either. He said crap.
Crap.
I know.
Crap.
It's all weather, Jimmy. I mean, these
just-
storms
yeah.
are amazing, so yeah.
You need a good signal to make this application work.
Yeah.
And if the thunderstorm is interfering with that,
No, we can't hear you.
I know one night we had problems with me because a thunderstorm was coming through here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I
No,
think this
haven't.
is our true first weather challenge since we started doing the Bassin Magazine podcast. So, you know, I don't know how to learn to get through it, but it looks like he's got good video feed, but we just can't hear him, and he's turned right now. So,
I think he should probably. There we go.
yeah.
Maybe I'll take him off and hope he comes back on, and it'll work better when he comes back on.
Yeah.
All right, taking
No.
Jimmy off. No.
The good thing about our guests is, you know, they have relationships with Bassin Magazine or with me or with you or with somebody that's affiliated with a relationship that we have, and we can always have these guests back on, you know, when the weather's good, and it really, I mean, you know, this is God's way of saying, hey, I needed you to do something else tonight, so it's okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, most of our guests we've been working with for years. We know them very well. And, you know, they feel comfortable talking to us. We feel comfortable talking to them. Some of these guys I've had on my pod. You know, I did a podcast for a long time. I'm still doing the podcast before Brad hired me to come on the Bassin Magazine podcast. And looks like Jimmy's trying to get back on.
Yeah, I got a message said he's logging back in. So let's see. I hope that signal's better. So.
And there he is.
Jeff,
and he's back.
Jeff Steenberg
Can you
does
hear me?
JD Rods and owns Basquando Plastics. And I think that New Wave Plastics sign behind Jimmy there that says Soft Plastics. Jeff's here in Oklahoma as well. So, you know, he sponsors Jimmy. He's watching. He's been telling us, hey, Jimmy's logging back in. So we're all good. Welcome back.
Can I say the provider's name?
Yeah.
Sprint. Call me Sprint.
No, that isn't him, but
Sprint is more than welcome to call me. I promise. Okay, let's back up just a tiny bit. We've got the blowing up the boat and the boat accident on the Toyota Series. I think that's really where we lost you.
Yes. You were just starting to tell us about the boating accident.
well, after the boating accident, I'm not going to go into detail about that, but
Sure.
After it was an accident. It wasn't anything malicious, just malicious. It was just an accident. But unfortunately, people got hurt, and we all went on. Everybody survived, so no worries
Thank
there.
God.
Yes, sir. After that, I decided that was as a co-angler. I wasn't going to do that anymore. Which coincidentally, I wasn't fishing the Toyota Series that year. A buddy of mine called and said, "Man, please get in this. I'm on them. I got to fish it, but I got to have somebody to link with to get in it." All right, why not? And then that happened. But I fished two more as a co-angler, and decided I just couldn't do it anymore after the accident. I'd get so nervous that my arms would shake. So
Oh no.
went and bought a boat, and well, they still do if I ride with someone like Bobby Walker. He's kind of crazy. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, I decided to buy a boat, and I did. And well, I had it just a few months, restored it all. It was an older boat, and blew the motor on it, sold it all. And then I bought the Skeeter that I'm in now. After my accident, I rode in a Skeeter, and 3 of them in that year. And it was the safest I felt in any boat. So I'll be a Skeeter guy for life, I'm sure. They helped me pick, I guess, if you will. But bought the Skeeter and blew the motor like 2 months, literally 1 year and 2 days after I blew the last one. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So Daniel hooked me up, Blackbeard, with a Yamaha show, and been running it ever since. And decided to jump in this year and fish something a little bigger.
Blackbeard Marine, they have 8 or 9 locations, right? All across. They're in Missouri. They're here in Oklahoma, stretched out.
Actually 5, I believe. But,
5. Okay.
So they're spread out across the state, which is kind of nice if you're a Midwest angler. You know, you've got service
Right.
pretty much across the state. So
Yeah. And then
And,
how'd
like
you
I said-
get? Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. You're
I don't
sorry.
know if you heard me, but Daniel with Blackbeard and Tim Reed gave me the opportunity to get into the Opens through the priority entry, and like, why not? And that's how I ended up where I'm at. I'm hoping that things work out where I can fish multiple divisions next year.
Well, there you go. That's how you get into the elites.
Right. Right.
Not if you
Is
don't
that
do well on the.
is that your ambition? Your ambition?
Honestly, when I was younger, I actually wrote my classic speech when I was 13.
Okay.
In fact, I wanted to be the youngest to go to the classic, and I still got my Brian Kershaw whistle, if y'all remember those. The going to the elites and all that. Sure, anybody wants to do that, but I'm 50 years old, and to be on the water every day like they do, I don't know that I could do it.
I know I couldn't.
I love competing at the highest level. I looked around that first day at the Opens, and it hadn't dawned. I'm not really starstruck by any angler by any means, but I looked around and I'm like, wow, you watched half these people fishing growing up.
Right.
And so it was pretty cool. It was really cool. It was a dream come true. So
Yeah.
that one. And if I get the invite, I do have one sponsor that has verbally agreed or said, however you say that. If I did get the invite, they would ride it. So, of course, I blew that last weekend. But
hey, that's your first one. Yeah.
No, you're not going to win them all. Nobody does.
Right.
Some of the greatest of the greats aren't in the limelight anymore. So,
hey, and I've been saying for 10 years now, the days of the same guy winning back to back to back to back, it's over. There are salty anglers out there that know how to switch lakes, and there's somebody on that lake that's better than that guy. Whether he catches them run off, but the days of the back to back angler, your Hank Parker's winning back to back, your Roland Martin's back to back, that kind of stuff is just it's obsolete now. There's too many great anglers out there.
Absolutely. And the advancement, the generation is really putting it on the old school guys. They're having to learn
sure are.
how to, and there's just a big shift in the industry, and it's still a competition. They still get up and put in the water at the same time and go fishing. So you just got to step up and learn.
My comment is nothing against those anglers that won back to back to back. I would love to see something happen like that again. But
I thought it was going to happen with Hank Cherry, but he got two. Hank, you got to admit, man, Hank knows what he's doing.
I will say that was, like I said, I wasn't starstruck. When I was, 13, 14, more than there. Yeah, 15. When Hank Parker called his in the classic stage on a bag phone to tell her he'd won the class again.
Right.
I cried. I was sitting right next to my daddy, and man, when he started talking like that, I just won the Bassmaster Classic. Jeez, still gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You can see him on my arms.
Still gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
My dad could not understand why are you so emotional over this? Dad, Hank Parker just won the Bassmaster Classic. Come on. Why aren't you emotional? I don't get you, boy.
So, Jimmy, you're the next stop's on Grand Lake of the Cherokees in Oklahoma?
Yes, sir. I'm actually, I don't know which day it is. I'm either fishing the Nichols Steam Trail with my partner Randy Hamilton, or actually going to fish the Big Bass Bash with my father. So that would be a really cool trip. He and I have never fished a tournament together. And, of course, he has some ideas I'm not real big on.
Oh, no, it's Brad.
Uh-oh.
So where is this Big Bass Bash going to be?
It's also on Grand Lake.
Okay. And why don't you tell us how that works? Some of our listeners might not know how the Big Bass Bass. I can't even say that, man. That's like a tongue twister for me.
Basically, you go out and fish, and they have a weigh-in every 2 hours. And you try to catch the biggest, and you take a chance, and you run back every 2 hours. And if you got one worth weighing in, and you either win an hourly prize or you don't.
Wow! So you can weigh in like multiple times during the same day.
4 times a day, yes.
Wow! But you don't have to weigh in.
20 or 30 places each hour.
Wow! So if you
Yeah,
catch a 3.5 pounder during the middle of the day, you might have a chance. You got to check, huh?
Oh, there's been times where a 2-pounder won money in those deals.
A 2-pounder. Wow, that sounds like an interesting
Go
tournament.
back to weighing. Nobody thinks to go back to weighing with a 2-pounder though.
No. Why would you waste the gas? But I guess some
Absolutely.
people don't look at it as wasting gas,
Well,
unless you have
guys-
like an 8-pounder. We're talking about the Big Bass Bash that Jimmy's
Yeah.
going to be going to on Grand Lake.
That's man, that's pretty cool because you can the way that thing works. It's the hourly weigh-in, right? I mean, I've got
He sounded like the old AOL.
I thought it was my service here. I don't know what it looks like on Facebook. I apologize to everybody.
No, you're fine. You're
My
fine.
Facebook feed didn't
Jimmy's coming
die.
through garbled.
My Facebook feed didn't die, but I lost the camera service. So,
Oh no.
but I'm not on Square anymore. So, it's fun. Well, do they? Yeah, I don't know. Do they hide the lakes that you're going to be going to in the opens, or is that already announced? Do you know where you're going after Grand? How many total tournaments are there?
There's 3 bases, and I go to Louisiana in September, and then Sam Rayburn in Texas.
Sam Rayburn.
That'd be a good lake.
Sam Rayburn's a good lake. Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're kind of at an advantage having. You're kind of at an advantage having one of the opens at Grand, since you're so close. It's almost a home field advantage.
One of the opens isn't at Grand.
Oh, I thought the next one was at Grand.
Oh, that's the Bash.
Just the Big Bass Bash. Okay.
So no, the next open will be the Red River, Louisiana. 7.
What
I
date?
already got you playing. And
Man, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
The next Bassmaster Open is going to be at the Red River in Shreveport, Beaussier, Louisiana.
Okay.
Because I thought I heard him say Louisiana.
Jimmy, I want an extended invite to come back and talk again, okay? The weather's something else right now. But I do want to try to let you give out shout-outs to your people, if you can. And then, Jay, let's just cut this because...
Yeah, this is just too frustrating because,
Yeah.
guys, this is just about the weather because I haven't been kicked off once, and I have clear skies here in Louisiana. So
Yeah.
it's not our application; it's the Wi-Fi. You know, and Jimmy's talking the old AOL modem language.
No, it
We've
sounds
got
like
mail.
10-cent dial-up.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can hear it on your end, Jimmy, but so.
Okay. Hey, Jimmy, can you hear us? If you can, why don't you give us some shout outs? Talk about your sponsors. He can't hear us.
Nope. You rotated again too. Go out and come back in like you did earlier. We'll give the shout outs. We'll invite Jimmy back to all our watchers and listeners, and we'll have him back, and you guys can ask some more questions. We got a lot of questions at first, and we'll continue that with Jimmy at another time.
And guys, we will have the giveaways. Jimmy will be back soon, and hopefully Oklahoma will be behaving by then.
Right.
because Louisiana doesn't behave either, man. I get it. I get it.
What Jimmy's going to do is he's going to take all the comments on the Let's Talk Fishing site and on Bassin Online site on the Facebook. He's going to number generate, and that's the way he's going to get out a prize. He'll probably send you a message on Messenger. So if you get a message and you want your prize, you can send your address, and he'll get it out to you. Jimmy's back. Let's hear about all your sponsors. Yeah, go for it.
You're perfect. Now do this quick.
Dang. Sponsors.
Shout outs.
Sponsors.
Now he's gonna dance. Sponsors. We did hear you, Jimmy.
There you go. That's what you got. Belly bug right there. The bully bug. Adrenaline. There you go. Yeah,
I like those jigs. I like those jigs, man.
We can hear you. Talk.
Yeah, no signing.
Jimmy, talk.
Oh,
Show us your FX rods, man. Here we
There
go.
you go.
wow.
Hey, we can hear you. You're good. Man, if this was our first podcast, I would be like, hey, this was fun. But this is like our 20th. You're good. Talk. You're good. We can hear you.
Bowls.
Yeah.
Show us your rod sponsor, Jimmy.
I don't know what to say.
Who's your rod sponsor?
You can hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
it can hear me. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I'd love to give a shout out. Without some of the sponsors I have, I couldn't do this. My title sponsor this year is Horizon Roofing out of Welch, Oklahoma. They're a commercial and residential roofing company. They do some construction. Look them up on Facebook or the internet. They'll do you a good service. Obviously, New Wave Plastics, Adrenaline Tackle. I forgot to make my list.
Oh man, FX
Mason
rod.
Tackle out of Kansas. Of course, Rock Hard Baits, Adrenaline Tackle, Blackbeard Marine, Skeeter, Yamaha, Pro Guide Batteries, FX Custom Rods. Some of the best rods on the planet. I mean, they're designed for the angler. Lightweight, sensitive, built out of a fabric nobody else is using. They're just amazing. Quality products, built for performance. Give me a shout out on Facebook. I'll tell you all about them. I don't know. This is kind of odd.
It is. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you.
I'm not
Thank you.
going to start dancing. I can tell you that.
It's good.
But you were dancing earlier, and we enjoyed it immensely.
As for the giveaways, I'll go through the comments and I'll get with Jay and see what comments he had on his and yours, and we'll put a list together, and I'll draw a couple of names and I'll announce it on Facebook and reach out and find out how to get a hold of them.
That's great. Jimmy can't hear us, guys. It's the weather here. We appreciate y'all watching. We'll get Jimmy back on and do this again. I appreciate it. Jay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Brad. Man, we will have Jimmy on again. Geez, it's just frustrating. We got to deal with the weather here. I wish the technology would move further than it has, but.
Yeah, and thanks all the listeners and watchers for staying around. Thank you.
And thank you for all your comments, guys. This was great. I mean, we had a great time. Trying to get Jimmy to do shout outs was hilarious. I'll never forget that. Thank you, Brad, for
staying around. Thank you, guys.
And we'll be back next week. Now I'm listening to myself. I still don't like
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Facebook Live is over.
Just like
All
I
right.
tell Carrie, I tell her I don't know code, so.
Can you hear us now?
Oh.
Can you
Okay,
hear
I'm
us?
going to end this broadcast, guys. You know what? Have a great weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brad
All the
lost his
guys-
feed too.
All the guys at Bassin Magazine, have fun.